Not. Hello everyone, it's Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do a comparison between the Shark Navigator on the left and the Shark PowerDetect NeverTouch Pro on the right. Now the NeverTouch Pro is a 2-in-1. It will vacuum and mop at the same time. The Navigator is just a vacuum only. So both of these robots use LiDAR navigation. The PowerDetect has a spinning LiDAR underneath here, which I do think works a little bit better. And it has a sensor on the front that helps with obstacle avoidance. Over here on the Navigator, it's a little bit thinner and it's got front-facing LiDAR, and the robot will have to spin occasionally to tell where it's at. Now, both of these are bagless. They're going to go around and vacuum your house. They're going to come back to the docking station, and there's an auto empty feature that's going to kick on. And then you're going to take this over to your trash can, press that button, and empty it all out. It never requires a bag. Now, you do have to clean some filters out once in a while. Over here, this one's a little bit smaller, but it has a bigger bin. You're going to empty this out. That's enough for 60 days. Now, since they're bagless, you are going to have to clean a filter once in a while. They both have the exact same filter. It is reusable. Here's what it looks like when it's new. But after it's been used for a while, you will have to clean that and let it dry overnight. Now the NeverTouch also has another HEPA filter right here. This one just has a foam filter down there. Now the NeverTouch Pro does have a clean water tank. So you're going to fill this up with clean water. You can put some Shark Clean solution in it. And then it's going to fill the robot up with water. Mop your floors, come back, wash the mop pad, and suck the water up into the dirty water tank. You'll have to empty out the dirty water tank once in a while. Now again, I do think the PowerDetect does a little bit better job of mapping and navigating my house, and it does have a better sensor on the front. It's got some, where this one's got just a little bit, pretty small sensor. It does just okay. They both have the bumper technology. When it hits something, they will turn around, but both of these robots will map your house, and after they map your house, when you tell it to clean your house, it will clean in straight lines. Both of these robots will do that. And you can clean by room, you can put them on a schedule, and you can add no-go zones to both of them. So here, if we look at the bottom of them, this one has the mop pad. It can wet the mop pad, and it can also lift the whole body so it doesn't drag it on carpet. Over here, this is strictly a vacuum only. It does have one single side brush. This one also has a side brush, and it also has a brush roller. We'll take a look. And there is a comb there to help keep the hairs off of it. And this one also has a comb to help keep the long hairs off of the brush roller. Now, since this is a mopping robot, it's also going to have a carpet sensor. We got two dual carpet sensors up here, these white discs. Now, right back, they both have an auto, this is where they're going to auto empty the dust bin. Here's its dustbin over here on the Navigator. They both have a filter you're going to have to replace once in a while. You do have to clean this out, you can see. There's that filter. Again, it has a water tank, but the base station will fill the robot up with water. And it's also got this scrub brush that it's going to run back and forth to clean the mop pad and then suck the water up into the dirty water tank. And here's its onboard water tank that it gets filled up. And again, it'll wet the mop pad to keep it wet while it's mopping. And it also moves the mop pad back and forth so that it has like a scrubbing action. You'll see the mop pad will move back and forth. Now the Shark 2-in-1 can also do another thing. It can detach the mop pad and leave it at the base station. So when it's in vacuum only mode, or when it's going to vacuum a bunch of carpet, it detaches the mop pad so that it's not dragging on the carpet. Okay, so I told the Shark NeverTouch Pro to start mopping the kitchen. First thing it's going to do, it's going to fill the internal water tank up with water. Okay, now it's going to wash the mop pad to get it nice and clean and wet. Okay, so it's going to undock after it fills the robot vacuum cleaner up with water. Then it's going to travel to that room. Now when it senses carpet, it is able to lift the mop pad over carpet. Okay, it traveled to the kitchen. Now it's going to start mopping. So it's going to stop here and it's going to wet the mop pad. It has a water pump that it's going to spray water onto the mop pad to get it nice and wet. And then it's going to clean up this muddy kitchen. Here we have the shark clean app. I can see where the robot has traveled from. Now it is able to extend that mop pad to the side when it's up against the wall. Okay, here it's going to start mopping the mud. Yeah, did a pretty good job. Not too bad. It's got a little bit of smearing. That mop pad has to capture the mud inside it. Take it back to the docking station and wash it off. It's doing a pretty good job. So we can see it did a pretty good job. We got a little bit of smearing left on there. Now for everyday mopping, this is going to do a really good job. And again, it's going to go back and forth and make the straight lines. So there's the obstacle avoidance. It's trying to avoid that cable. Again, it's vacuuming and mopping at the same time. See there, it can lift the mop pad when it senses carpet. Now it can go back and remove that mop pad when it needs to vacuum this carpeted area. It's going to mop first and then go back and remove the mop pad so that it can vacuum this area. Because with it lifted up like that, it's not able to vacuum.
Cleaning mission complete.
Okay, so it's done mopping. It's going to go back to the base station and wash the mop pad. There it is, traveling back to the dock. Even this one spins once in a while when it's got its mop pad lifted up. It'll just stop and randomly spin.
Starting to wash my pad.
Look who joined me, Miss Fiona. I don't have any treats. And so it's going to wash the mop pad with room temperature water from the clean water tank and then suck it up into the dirty water tank. At the end of this job, it's going to blow room temperature air onto the mop pad to dry them. Okay, now it's sucking the dirty water up into the dirty water tank.
My pad.
Okay, so at the end of the job, it's going to dry the mop pad. It's a fan. You don't hear it that it's not really loud, but you will notice it. And then once in a while, you just got to empty the dirty water tank. Wow, it's been doing a good job. Okay, now it's going to remove the mop pad and go vacuum. We're going to watch it detach the mop pad here. There, it left the mop pad. All right, it's going to go and vacuum that area now. I'm not sure why it's not getting right up next to the wall. Now this does have a dirt detection sensor that if it senses that there's a bunch of dirt being sucked up, it will go in a figure 8 pattern around that dirt. And that's doing a pretty good job. It left a little bit. And again, it's been going up against the wall, but just right now it did not go up against the wall. I'm not sure why. But it has in the past. And it is getting this carpet rather clean. Okay, so we're going to have it start cleaning the kitchen first. Did a pretty good job getting all of that. Now we got some stuff on some carpet. So the obstacle avoidance is not the best. It says for everyday items like a shoe, it can avoid. Now once it does the perimeter of the room, it'll go back and forth and make the straight lines. It's doing a pretty good job of vacuuming. Doing a pretty good job of vacuuming. Got most of that hair, but not all of it. Okay, it's all done. It's going to travel back to the docking station and auto empty itself. And Miss Fiona is taking a big old nap. Oh, she's a good girl. And every once in a while it does stop and spin. Okay, it found the docking station. Now it's going to turn around and auto dock. Okay, it's all done and it's going to be charging itself up ready for the next time. Now you don't have to empty this about every couple of months, but let's just see everything that it's inside it. And there's everything that it picked up. Wow, it did a good job. Okay, so I've got quite a few videos on this PowerDetect. I mean, this isn't a super, the biggest compare, I'm going to compare it to the Q-Revo Master here next. But I wanted people to know if they need a budget shark, you can get a budget one. I don't highly recommend this Navigator just because price point. And it's also with the PowerDetect, I do recommend it, but the price can get pretty high. They sell a white one that's sometimes around $1,200. This one's sometimes around $1,000. Right now it's at $700. That's a buy for me. Now, you're lacking some features that the Roborocks and the Dreams and the Eufy give you in the app. The app is very basic. I do wish they would update it, but this thing always makes it back to the docking station. With that being said, and I've come down here in my basement and I'm like, oh, it's mopping and it's doing a pretty good job, and it does vacuum and it does make it back. So to say it doesn't work is not true. I mean, you can see the dirty water tank is full. I do like that odor neutralizing cartridge, but you can take that out. It is bagless. I get a lot of requests for bagless robot vacuum cleaners, and this one is it. Boy, it's been fun working from home today. Miss Fiona has missed me. She's been hanging around me like crazy. Right now, the Navigator is retailing for $450. I don't recommend it at $450. That's about a $250 robot, but there's a lot better ones than this. The Shark one, this one's actually been pretty reliable again. This is starting to compete with the Q-Revos, the Roborock Q-Revos, the Dream L10S. Those, I think, have a few more features in the app, which do make them a little bit more desirable. But this one does have LiDAR navigation. Like I said, it does make it home. It does mop my floors. It does vacuum. So I can't be super disappointed in it. At first I was, because of it lacking all of the features. Like, I can't tell it to go mop the floor twice. It doesn't have any dirt detection sensor, which that one does. And so there are some things that are lacking, but put it on a schedule, forget it. And the maintenance isn't super intense on it. So I will put links to these in the show description notes along with my top 10. So if you click on those links, the products don't cost you anymore, but I do get a small commission from the sale. It is a way of helping support my channel. That way I can continue to give these honest reviews. Again, I bought both these with my own money and I wasn't paid for this video. This is my honest opinion on these. And at first, I just didn't like the NeverTouch, but I've been using it now for well over 3 months, and it just works. So there's something to be said about when something just works. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it does work. So I hope this video helps. Thanks everybody for watching.